here is the altar. And we'll get started momentarily. Banmali Prabhu is here.
I have a little Ganesh also.
Yeah.
So it's very nice.
त्यांची पगडी खाली पडली का?
Hare Krishna and welcome to the Bhakti Vrksa in the home of Suyash and Manasi Mataji. Thank you so much Suyash Prabhu and Manasi Mataji for opening up your home and your hearts for us to have this nice Bhakti Vrksa today. It's bad weather but outside, but the place is beautiful up here in Pacifica. Thank you so much for that. And we have Banmali Prabhu as well. So we will start with a round of Kirtan till we have all others join us today. So Banmali Prabhu, will you do us the honors and please do some Kirtan for us?
You want to do some kirtan?
Yes, there we go.
What a great idea.
There we go.
Okay. I'll be okay. I'll get down with everybody else. Okay. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutali Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namani Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutali Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namani Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutali Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namani Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutali Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namani Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadara Shri Vasari Bhaktavinda
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadara Shri Vasari Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
We can do one more.
One more?
Yeah.
How long do you want to come?
7:30 we start the lecture.
It says 7:30.
No, it's 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's
That's
fast.
15 minutes fast?
Yeah. We got 15
Oh,
minutes.
you.
Yeah.
Maya.
So they
15 more
always
minutes?
win with time, against
Yeah.
time, right? You're always ahead.
So Kathy,
We don't believe in time and
you take
space
notes,
here.
Getting your internet connected there, because we'll be using something online.
Yeah.
You need the password.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
very evil sounding password. So Yash will have to give it to you. I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
I can
Just make
Or
sure.
I have the data, so it should be fine.
बट आपका कौन सा
Whether-
AT&T?
T-Mobile.
Oh,
कि
it will
मोबाइल
not
आपका दोबारा डेटा
Just go and see if you can check. If you can do WhatsApp and
मेरा तो एक भी डंडा नहीं है.
Can you do?
एक डंडा है.
Can you do WhatsApp?
I think so.
I send a PDF.
Is my
to you from
face red?
Wait.
It feels hot.
It feels hot, or because
It's just my face. I get that way when I'm on camera, I guess.
That's the thing. हाँ. मेरा open हुआ है.
Stage fright.
It's good to have to look pink. So,
मैं तो जी open हुआ मेरा.
okay, acha. And also database, right? I think database is on that.
So I want to do some more kirtan.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, we have about 11 minutes more.
Okay.
So Suyash has gone to help Neerav, right?
Yeah.
The parking.
Let me think of a tune. What's your favorite tune?
Oh, all tunes disappear me the moment the person says tune. All the tunes disappear from my head. That's why I never do.
I agree.
Yeah.
हाँ माता जी.
Something from
मेरा
Prabhupada.
base भी पूरा. सिर्फ मेरे phone में बैटरी कम है.
Yeah, well, you can charge it if you want. Yours is a cell phone. Is it iPhone?
नहीं.
Is it iPhone?
It's an Android phone, but I have a charger.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Haribo.
Thank you so much, Mumali Prabhu.
You're so welcome.
Wonderful modulations.
Congratulations, amazing, yeah.
Thank you.
So we will get started. I have actually sent you all a PDF document on your on the Bhakti Vrksa. So if you can check on your cell phones whether you're able to open and see it. And I don't know, Vanwali Prabhu will have to be established into your network. He also needs, or you can share. Maybe we can look at it from your.
So I got that.
Oh, nice.
Was it on the WhatsApp?
It's on WhatsApp, yeah. But is your WhatsApp working here? If it's working, that's fine. Otherwise, yeah, okay. Because, yeah.
I'm old, but I'm not that old.
No. It's not to do anything at all with that. Otherwise, I'll be in the same bucket as you.
Is it the same as
Well, that's
Same as this, right?
He has a Wi-Fi.
This one, no?
No, it's not the same as the printout.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But this you can always give. Yeah, this we will use as well, but a later time. Yeah. So, yeah, Neeral and Kathy, you have it.
Did you get one? No.
First one.
Right. My password.
Rakesh, you can check
Oh,
on your
it's
cell phone.
It's okay. I'm
You can
getting
check on
it.
your cell
They will
phone
say
on the
what to
Bhakti,
download.
on the Peninsula Bhakti, it would have come, or document would have come. Where is your phone?
Okay. Is that it?
Cool.
पर मुझे मेरे इसमें है.
आपको नहीं मिल गया? वाईफाई का पासवर्ड देता हूँ तो नहीं
नहीं दैट इज फाइन मैं देखूँ चेक करता हूँ मेरा
ये नेटवर्क में क्या होता है पीछे.
It may be network is the problem, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I thought you would pass on that information to Neeral Prabhu, that's why I didn't say that. Hare Hare. In?
He's in.
Is it? Alright. Banwali proposal needs to be.
हाँ चलो. हाँ चलो.
Shri Guru Ashtaka. Shri
Yeah.
Okay, so welcome to the Bhakti Vrksa at Manasi and Suyas Prabhu's home. So we will start as usual with a round of introductions, starting with our host, Suyash Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, this is Suyash.
Hare Krishna. This is Mansi.
And you are from?
We are from Pacifica.
Pacifica.
Hare Krishna, I'm Banamali Das, and I live in Burlingame and Belmont.
Welcome, Banwali Prabhu, and thank you so much for the wonderful Kirtan.
You are so welcome.
Hare Krishna, my name is Khyati and I'm from Millbrae. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, I am Neeral and I live in Millbrae with her.
Kathy and
Thank you.
Neeral, who are the other, guests, hosts who do the Bhakti Vrksa at that place. And then behind the camera is my husband, Rakesh Prabhu, and this is Shraddha Devi Dasi. Both of us are from Foster City, California. So, so I had shared what's the topic we are going to discuss today. Does anybody remember? Guru, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so before we can go into that topic, I thought it would be better if we could do a Guru Ashtak so that we can set the mood for the evening. And I have shared that document, the Guru Ashtak document, with all of you. So what we will do is we'll go around starting again from Suyash Prabhu, and we will read the English, right? The English starting from the top where it says Sri Vishnath Chakravarti Thakur. And for those of you who are joining us online, I have shared the link to the document on Facebook as well, so you can follow us along there.
Shri Shri Guru Ashtaka, 8 prayers to the Guru by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who appeared in the middle of the 17th century, is a great spiritual master in the Krishna conscious chain of gurus and disciples. He says, one who, with great care and attention, loudly recites this beautiful prayer to the spiritual master during the Brahma Muhurta obtains direct service to Krishna, the Lord of Vrindavanam, at the time of his death.
See the translation.
The spiritual master is receiving benediction from the ocean of mercy, just as a cloud pours water on the forest fire to extinguish it. So the spiritual master delivers the materially afflicted world by extinguishing the blazing fire of material existence. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master who is an ocean of auspicious qualities.
Translation. Chanting the holy name, dancing in ecstasy, singing and playing musical instruments, the spiritual master is always gladdened by the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because he is relishing the mellows of pure devotion within his mind, sometimes his hair stands on end. He feels quivering in his body and tears flow from his eyes like waves. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master.
The spiritual master is always engaged in the temple worship of Sri Radha and Krishna. He also engages his disciples in such worship. They dress the deities in beautiful cloth and ornament, clean their temple, and perform their other similar worship of the Lord. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master.
So the spiritual master is very dear because he's a
No, that's
Fourth one.
Fourth one. On page 2, bottom of page 2.
The spiritual master is always offering Krishna 4 kinds of delicious food, analyzed that which is lit, chewed, drunk and sucked. When the spiritual master sees that the devotees are satisfied by eating Bhagavad Prasad, he is satisfied. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master.
The spiritual master is always eager to hear and chant about the unlimited conjugal pastimes of Radhika and Madhava, and their qualities, names, and forms. The spiritual master aspires to relish these at every moment. I offer my respect obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master.
The spiritual master is very dear because he is expert in assisting the gopis, who at different times make different tasteful arrangements for the perfection of Radha and Krishna's conjugal loving affairs within the groves of Vrindavana. I offer my most humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master.
The spiritual master is to be honored as much as the Supreme Lord. Because he is the most confidential servitor of the Lord, this is acknowledged in all the revealed scriptures and followed by the authorities. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master, who is a bona fide representative of Sri Hari Krishna.
By the mercy of the spiritual master, one receives the benediction of Krishna. Without the grace of the spiritual master, one cannot make any advancement. Therefore, I should always remember and praise the spiritual master. At least 3 times a day, I should offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master.
Hare Krishna. So they talk about singing it at 3 times in the day, starting with Mangalarti time, right? So early in the morning, the first thing that you do when the curtains open is that we sing the Guru Ashtaka prayers, and it is a benediction from Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. He says that one who with great care and attention recites these prayers to the spiritual master during Brahma Muhurta, right, will get service to Lord Krishna at the time of death. So that's an amazing thing there. So, Suyash Prabhu, you have invited your neighbors from upstairs?
Yes.
Okay, so let's make so much of sound here that they get attracted. so we're going to sing these songs with a lot of gusto, right? So I'll sing one verse and then all of you can join and you can clap, right? So go like that. Because why do we clap?
So that we are in attention.
So,
we are
okay,
in
good.
movement.
So you're in attention, so you're engaging your senses. So Karmendriya, hand is getting engaged and your ears are getting engaged. And of course you're singing like that. And then also it is said that, if there are birds that are sitting on a tree and if you go and clap, then they fly away. So similarly, this body is sometimes equated to a tree, and all the sinful reactions are there in the body. They're sitting in the form of birds. So when you clap your hands, then the sinful reactions go away as well. Another thing that I was told when I had fibromyalgia in my hands from working on the computer for a very long time, they said that, you should just go and sit in the kirtan and you should clap your hands. Because this is a very natural position of the hand. And for those of you who have faced this problem with computers in the office, you know that, you will all start typing like that, which is not a natural position of the hand. So when they give you those adjustable keyboards, they're still like that, because then your hands go like that and you do like that. So working in this direction is a very normal thing. So you're clapping your hands is a very natural thing for us to do. So, if not anything, if you don't have any sins to fly away, then at least it'll help your muscles, build up your muscles, okay? So I'll start with the first words. Sansare dava nalalida loka tranaya karunya ghana ghanata prapasya kalyana gunadavasa vande guru shri charanavindam Mahaprabhu Kirtan Nitya Gita Vaditya Madhyan Manasura Sena Romancha Kanka Shrutaranga Bhajo Vande Guru Shri Charanavindam Nitya Gita Vaditya Madhyan Manasura Romancha Kanka Shrutaranga Bhajo Vande Guru Shri Charanavindam Shri Aradhana Nitya Nana Shringar Tan Mandir Majanada Yuktasya Bhaktam Chaninja Topi Vande Guru Shri Charanavindam Nityanana Shringar Tan Mandir Majanada Yuktasya Bhaktam Nikunja Yuno Ratikeli Setai Yayali Viru Kira Pekshaniya Tatrati Dakshadati Vallabhasya Vande Gurau Shri Charanarvindam Ratikeli Setai Yayali Viru Kira Pekshaniya Tatrati Daksha Atvallabhasya Vande Gurau Shri Charanarvindam Sakshat Hari Jaya Samasta Shastra Uktastata Bhavita Eva Sati Kintu Prabhuya Priya Eva Tasya Vande Gurau Shri Charanarvindam Sakshat Hari Jaya Samasta Shastra Kintu Prabhuya Priya Eva Tasya Vande Gurau Shri Charanarvindam Yasya Prasadat Bhagavat Prasado Yasya Prasadat Nagati Kutopi Dhyayam Stuvam Tasya Yashasti Sangam Vande Gurau Shri Charanarvindam Yasya Prasadat Bhagavat Prasado Yasya Prasadat Nagati Kutopi Dhyayam Stuvam Tasya Yashasti Sangam Vande Gurau Shri Dhyayam Stuvam Tasya Yashasti Sangam Vande Gurau Shri Charanarvindam Stuvam Tasya Yashasti Sangam Vande Gurau Shri Charanarvindam Vande Gurau Shri Charanarvindam Vande Gurau Shri Charanarvindam Vande Gurau Shri Vande Gurau Shri Charanarvindam Vande Gurau Shri Charanarvindam Vande Gurau Shri Charanarvindam Vande Gurau Shri Charanarvindam. Okay, all together. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vashata Deshatarini Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Hare Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Okay, so we will next read from the. And thank you so much for the loud clapping. At least I'm cleared of my sins. If you can distribute, you have already distributed? Okay, that's good. So we'll take turns as usual in reading. And so starting with Yash Prabhu there.
Guru, a friend, philosopher, and spiritual guide. Sometimes when we talk about the importance of accepting a guru, a bona fide spiritual master, we fear that we have to blindly surrender our independent thinking to some authority. We may think, will it not be much better if I were to think for myself, relying on my own power of analysis, rather than merely accept someone else's opinion? Before being so apprehensive about accepting spiritual authority, let us see a few examples from everyday life where we accept authority without questioning. We consume the blue or yellow or pills of any color prescribed by a doctor hoping to get well soon. As soon as we board a flight, we are entrusting our lives to the pilot. Do we check the pilot's credentials every time we board a flight? The child accepts his mother as an authority and comes to know of everyone and everything around him, his father, brother, sister, etc., only through her. In a barber shop, we allow the barber to shave our beard with a knife, confident that he won't kill us.
A student accepts the authority of textbooks prescribed by the board. Thus, we see that we have no choice but to believe authorities in order to get knowledge. Even if we want to learn dance or music or athletics or martial arts or for that matter anything, We take training under a teacher or a coach. In other words, in order to gain mastery in any field, we agree to become an apprentice under an expert advanced in that field. Thus, we accept a teacher in every walk of life. Then why not accept a teacher in spiritual life too?
Spiritual life is serious business, and any sincere seeker of truth can understand the need of accepting a bona fide guru to get enlightenment. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, descended to this world, he also set an example for us by accepting Sandipani Muni as his guru. So even the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the source of all knowledge and wisdom, accepts a guru to demonstrate the absolute necessity of accepting a guru, who is not a guru. Since the guru must transmit the truths of spiritual knowledge perfectly, he plays a crucial role in the life of a disciple. Regrettably, sometimes fake godmen try to cheat the innocent public in the name of guru.
They charge fees to give secret mantras and make false promises. They allow their student to disregard all the regulative principles. They teach yoga as a simple gymnastic exertion and not as a means of connecting one to the God. They maintain that the purpose of yoga is material well-being. They defy the Vedas by describing I am God, you are God, everyone is God, and so on. The gullible masses blindly follow such fake godmen and are led to suffering in this life and in the next. It is therefore necessary to first understand the symptom of a bona fide guru, that is, a spiritual master who has received pure knowledge and can impart it as a friend, philosopher, and a spiritual guide.
Who is a guru? When we go to a jeweler's shop to purchase a diamond, we perform detailed research before executing the actual transaction. Perhaps we would consult some friends and experts in the business. Even after such consultations, we would try to get some warranty on the products to ensure that we are not cheated. Similarly, if we wish to get a professional degree, we would consider the reputation and authenticity of the institute that we plan to join.
One cannot test the genuineness of a spiritual authority by the language he speaks, by his physical appearance, or by his nationality. Just like the genuineness of gold can be determined by certain specific tests, there are also tests to determine the genuineness of a spiritual authority as stated below. The guru must have heard the absolute truth in a disciplic succession. The disciplic succession comprises of spiritual masters and disciples coming from God himself. The guru does not concoct some theory or philosophy of his own to promote himself in the public. He repeats what he has heard from his guru in disciplic succession.
Vedas are revealed to Brahma at the dawn of creation and not written down. It came down as a word of mouth from one guru to the next down the line. It was only 5,000 years ago the Vedas were put down in writing by Vyasadeva, keeping in mind the degraded nature of people in the age of Kali Yuga. This knowledge has come down in disciplic succession from Krishna to his disciple Brahma, to his disciple Narada, to his disciple Vyasa, to all the way to A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. Thus, through the unbroken disciplic succession, the original Vedic knowledge is available to us even today.
The mantra that is not received in disciplic succession does not produce results. Therefore, in the age of Kali, there are four such disciplic successions. There are Shri, Brahma, Rudra, and Sanaka Sampradaya. In the age of Kali, these four disciplic lines will appear out of Purushottama. Padma Purana quoted in Prameya Ratnavali.
It is important to accept the Vedic knowledge through a disciplic succession in order to avoid gross misinterpretation of the Vedas. No one can become a doctor simply by studying medical books. Rather, he needs to study and practice under an expert doctor before being awarded a medical degree. Similarly, without studying and practicing the Vedas under a bona fide guru from a disciplic succession starting from the Lord himself, one cannot understand the Vedic scriptures.
The Guru must have realized the conclusions of the scriptures by deliberation. Because he has heard, understood, practiced, and realized the absolute truth, he should be fixed in devotional service to Supreme. He should be able to confirm the authenticity of the message he is presenting by the support of the scriptures and teaching of the great seers of truth of present and the past.
The Guru should know the essence of the scriptures and not just be a Sanskrit scholar. He needs to know the essence of all scriptures as explained in the Bhagavad Gita 15:15. Vedaischa sarvaira aham eva vidyaya. The essence of all the Vedas is to know me, as Krishna. If he knows this essential principle of the teachings of all scriptures and lives along this principle, he knows everything necessary for delivering the disciples.
The Guru is beyond caste, creed, color, nationality, and other such superficial differences. We should never think he is after all an African Guru or an American Guru or an Indian Guru. When we go to a doctor, do we see him as an Indian doctor or as an American doctor? We only see if he is a qualified doctor with a degree. Similarly, it is said, one who knows the science of Krishna should be accepted as a Guru. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 8.128. Instruction has to be taken from one who is in knowledge. It does not matter what his family or material identity is. His only qualification is that he must know the science of Krishna. What's his only qualification?
Science of Krishna.
He must know the science of
Krishna.
Right? Okay. So the Guru is a very wide and a very broad and a very deep and a heavy topic. So I don't know how much we will be able to go into it in this today. But let's start by, there's enough that has been, paraphrased and, compacted and said in this. I mean, I've always maintained that these pieces of text have been written very nicely by the authors of this manual, of this handbook. So let's go back, starting from the beginning and see what are some of the things that have struck out to you.
I have a question, Mataji.
Oh, please, yes.
So
Questions are welcome.
I would actually rather take her question.
Is it Manasi's question?
Yes, she had been asking me, but I am not able to answer. So what is the difference between philosophy and spirituality? Because both words come up here as a guide.
So, okay, let's look at the dictionary meaning first and give you right from this. Philo actually means love of God. Philosophy means love of God. So philosophy is concerned with God, but philosophy. Okay, so philosophy is a noun. It's the study of the fundamental nature of knowledge, reality and existence, especially when considered as an academic discipline. A particular system of philosophical thought, for example, Schopenhauer's philosophy, the study of a theoretical basis of a particular branch of knowledge or experience, the philosophy of science. A theory or attitude held by a person or organization that acts as a guiding principle for behavior. Don't expect anything, for example, don't expect anything and you won't be disappointed. That's my philosophy. So it's a way of thinking, right? Attitude that you hold. Origin is Middle English, from the Old French philosophie via Latin, from Greek philosophy, which means love of wisdom. So philosophy has got to do with love, right? Philo is love. And Sophie is love and Philo is wisdom, right? It's love of wisdom. So wisdom could be on anything. So you could have a philosophy on anything, right? But spiritual is completely to do with the matter versus spirit. So it's a completely spiritual thing. Now on the spirit also, you could be at various levels. You could just be thinking about the soul and that's it. Or you could go a step further and you could be thinking about the super soul. We talked about super soul a few sessions ago. Or you could be talking about the absolute truth, the supreme personality of Godhead, who's the source of everything. So spiritual goes there. Does that help you? Okay.
I always thought philosophy is knowledge, and spirituality is experience. What you experience, how your relation with Krishna is, that's the spirituality. So it's like the two dimensions.
Yes. Ultimately, you have to realize that.
More towards inclined toward the theoretical knowledge is philosophy,
Yeah.
and
So
the
knowledge,
practical as well
yeah.
as spiritual.
What you experience, how, like it's a deep, where you are involved. Philosophy is the knowledge that you receive, right? But then spirituality is the life you live, the way you have relation with Krishna. So that is this is what like simplified.
And one thing to keep in mind is that, I'm looking up spirituality again from the dictionary, is that spirituality, it says, is the quality of being concerned with the human spirit or soul, as opposed to material or physical things. The shift in, for example, then they're using the word philosophy, so the spirituality. The shift in priorities allows us to embrace our spirituality in a more profound way. A deep sense of spirituality that connects them to the natural environment, right? So what Khyati Mataji is talking about, experiencing it, and you can't experience it till you embrace it in your life like that, right?
Yeah.
And even when it comes to knowledge of the source, right? Knowledge of the soul, super soul, etc. You could be on a theoretical level there also. But unless and until you realize, like, I have understood it that there is soul. And why do we know that there is soul? There are so many reasons that you can see outside. And that is that when death is a very good example of demonstrating the existence of a soul. When a person dies, then we say, number one, we say, like, my father has gone, or the patient has gone. So who is gone? The patient is still lying in front of you. So who is it that has gone? There's something that leaves the body. And then if the body is not minus something, then how come the functions of the body have ceased? Right? So there's, in that way, there are so many ways that you can, realize. You can understand that there is a soul. For example, I keep on saying that my hand, my eyes, my this and my that. So who is that who's saying my this and my that? So, but still I don't, okay, this theory, it's just theory. But then you need a realization. So the theory also tells you that you are the soul, you're not the body. Although we are brought up in the conception that I am the body. Because sometimes people also say, my soul. That's not the right way to say. Because when you say my soul, that means you're thinking that you are the body and then you have a soul. Right? So you should always be saying my body, because you are the soul who's housed in this particular body. But then if you're a soul and you're housed in this body, and we always read in Bhagavad Gita that the soul has got nothing to do with, Prabhu, if you can shift a little bit on this side, I can't see you, because he's trying to manipulate the camera and he has to sit there. Yeah. So even if you understand that you're the soul, you're not the body, then the question comes is that, question is about the identification, which happens because of the false ego, right? The true ego is that I am the soul. That's the right ego. The false ego is thinking I'm the body. So, okay, so I understand, I get it. But then, okay, are you this sari? No, I'm not this sari. Okay, so you can take a pair of scissors, you can cut this sari to pieces, but don't. It's given to me by Varshana Mataji, who's watching us online. So the fact is that, if somebody takes a piece and cuts it, then nothing is going to happen. I'm not going to shout or shriek and be painful, right? But then if somebody takes the same pair of scissors and starts to cut my fingers, then I will shout. Why? Because the I is there, the mind is there, this is my body. I identify myself with the body, right? But if you realize that you are the soul, then people can do anything to your body, they won't feel the pain of that. So theoretical versus, practical. So you have to embrace that. So spirituality, yeah, I'm a soul. Oh yeah, she's also soul, he's also not the body. What I'm seeing is not the body. And that concept was mentioned in this narration that we read just now. Then we are saying that he's a guru, no, he's an African guru, he's an American guru. Somebody might say, oh, guru should only come from India because the theory comes from India. Or somebody might say, oh, but I'm American, I can only understand American guru, I can understand. But you can see Prabhupada came, right? These are things which are beyond them, and he came here to teach the Americans. So he was completely beyond that concept of the body. He was very much in the spiritual thing, and that's why he said that everybody can become a guru and say that they are a guru, but then we have to be very, very careful in the choice of a guru. And lot of and this is Kali Yuga, where people are lazy in their devotional service. So there are some properties of people that I mentioned that they have in the Kali Yuga. The first is Alpayu. They are short-lived as compared to other yugas, where many much short-lived. Then they are quarrelsome. They are lazy in their devotional service. They will not want to do a lot of hard work in their devotional service. They are misguided. They are unlucky, and they are always disturbed. So there are 6 characteristics of people in Kali Yuga. So now the question is that if I'm lazy in my devotional service, then I would like to take the easy path. And if I'm trying to take the easy path, then there are so many out there who are willing to cheat you and misguide you. And that is what is another property of ours, that we are misguided. We easily get misguided. That's why, if a guru comes and tells you and tries to make things easy for you, and too much easy for you, and bending the scriptural, concepts, scriptural rules, then he's not the right guru to go for. He should not change. The essential truth should not be changed. So there are gurus who will differ. You will see a lot of flavors of gurus in any sampradaya that you go, even ISKCON that you look at, right? But we have to remember one thing is that the basics have to remain the same for all the gurus. For example, Prabhupada said that you should chant 16 rounds. Now, all the gurus of ISKCON who are Prabhupada's disciples should be telling you to chant 16 rounds. Now, your guru might come and say, well, you should chant 18, Niral Prabhu, or you chant 64 because I see that capacity, I see that you have such pure love for chanting the names and you can do it. He sees that capacity in you, capability in you. He might say you do it, right? But the guru will not ask you to reduce it from 16 rounds, right? So the basics will remain the same, and the details can vary from guru to guru. And also from a guru to his different disciples, he will change the rules slightly depending on the time, depending on the place, depending on the circumstances that are there. For example, you normally chant your rounds on your beat, right? But what if my hands, are giving some trouble, I'm having some problems, so what should you do, right? So some gurus might say, okay, a counter is allowed. Some guru might say, you time it. Some guru might say, you time it, or you sit and make some simple marks on a piece of paper and do it. If rolling your fingers is a difficulty. So different gurus will vary, but essential things still remains the same. Right? Good. Thanks for bringing that question, Manasi.
That was my first Bhakti Vrksa in Pleasanton, and Hari Sankirtan Prabhu explained this, the difference between philosophy and
Spiritual things.
So.
Very good. Yeah. Coming from Hari Sankirtan mouth, it always gets blessed. He's Shri Prabhu Swami. Wonderful person. Yeah. So, the very first statement is very, very powerful over here, which says that when we talk about the importance of accepting a guru, we fear that we might have to blindly surrender to a guru. And this is very, very important, that you should not blindly surrender. You should not be blind. We are all educated people, and we should be able to see quickly the difference between a good guru and a bad guru. And Prabhupada was so clear about that, and he was so vocal about pseudo gurus there. And number one, a guru, 2 things he said, right? Very, very emphasizing a lot. One is that guru should not say he is God. Guru is not God. Guru is a representative of God. And so he's like an ambassador to for a country. So if the ambassador of India arrives here in USA, we will give him a good reception. We will treat him as good as we would treat the Prime Minister of India if he was to come over here. Right? So he's an ambassador. So a guru is an ambassador of God. So that's why we treat him as good as God, but he is not God. So any guru who is telling you that he's God, you can shun him. You should not go close to him, that God, and to guru at all. And second is, the guru will not ask you to have sex with him. Very, very, very clear with that. A lot of the public gets fooled by that, and we hear so many scandals. This is Kali Yuga, right? But we understand that. Right? Now, some of the people get they fear that they have to blindly surrender. You don't have to blindly surrender. And thinking about that the guru is God, and talking about illicit relationship with the guru, it happens in organizations also where you go and work, right? It happens in companies. It happens everywhere. The strong will try to molest the poor or the weak, which is there. So just because there are bad bosses, do we stop working? Have we said that we are not going to work because our bosses have all the females said that, no, bosses are bad, they might do things to me, I'm not going to work? No, we don't, right?
Sometimes.
So similarly, So similarly, if there are bad gurus, then that doesn't mean that you should shun your pursuit of Krishna consciousness. Because you have got atata brahma jigyasa, because you have got this human body, it is your duty to find God. And how will you find God? You will need, and then this narration goes on, that you accept, that the question is that, I'm afraid that I have to blindly follow, and I'm saying you don't have to blindly follow, be smart and intelligent and look and see, right? And ISKCON gives you that facility, that if you go and take shelter of a guru and say, I want you to become my guru, I want to take learning from you, then it gives you a nice period. 1 full year is there. And you can extend it for as long as you like. 1 full year is there to say, I'm watching this guru. I'm seeing, what is his behavior? How does he behave with me? How does he behave with others? What are his dealings? How does he sit? How does he talk? How does he teach? Everything you have to see. And then at the end of 1 year, you can turn around and say, I don't want this guru. And even after, suppose things change with time, the guru was good. Over a period of time, if the guru became bad, then there is a process in place that you can, give up that. So we have to be intelligent, we have to be smart, and we have to be alert all the time.
Mataji, one question. I think we are discussing about the guru side, right? But it's like we also have a fear that we have to blindly surrender. Sometimes guru gives some instructions that we are so attached of doing it other way, right? And then we feel that it's not what we want, or it's not according to what we thought or planned, right? So how do we correct ourselves in that case?
It is practice. Number one, so it will come with practice. It's the ego. It's the ego. I mean, you remember who we are? We are from the spiritual world. We are from the spiritual world. And so we never liked Krishna's authority. So that trait is still there in us. Why would we like Guru's authority, right? So it is there. That thing is there. So number one, if you want to inculcate a habit and a practice, how do you inculcate that? Prabhupada used to ask this question. Somebody said, how can I become spiritual? How can I, do this? He said, how do you become an alcoholic?
Yeah, fair enough.
How do you become an alcoholic? That's a question.
Again and again.
Okay, drink again and again. Okay.
Indulging in it something.
Huh?
Indulging in something will become...
Indulging in it. Okay, that's one. Yeah. How else can you become an alcoholic?
Doing it
Go with
regularly.
someone who is doing it.
Do it with someone who is doing it. Exactly.
Peer
So he said
pressure.
association. Huh?
Peer pressure.
Peer pressure, right? So association, if you are in the association of drunkards, you will definitely become a drunkard, right? Sooner or later. High chances are there. So if you want to become a good disciple, be in the association of those who are good disciples, because you will learn from them, right? And as he always says that, when he moved in, Vaishnav Prabhu says that when he moved into the temple, why do brahmacharis go and live in the temple? Why don't they just, 2 brahmacharis live together like that? Why do they all go to the temple? Because early in the morning, number one, early in the morning, everybody goes for Mangal Artik. And then if you're not there for Mangal Artik, somebody will ask, like, Ryan, why were you not there for Mangal Artik? So that's it, peer pressure, as Neera Prabhu said, is there, right? And the second thing is that they all sleep on the floor. The first thing they do is that when they get up, somebody is designated to go in and mop the floor, make the floor clean. So they don't care, the brahmacharis, they don't care. If you're sleeping, the mop will come by ahead. They will start mopping the floor, and you could be on one corner of the floor and the mop is coming. So because of the mop, they will do it. So it's just sheer peer pressure and association. You learn good things. Just as you learn bad things with bad association, you learn good things in good association. So over a period of time. And always, as when you're doing spiritual pursuit, and the guru tells you something, and you know it, and you know that he's right, but still, and this is samskar. The mind has got memories of us doing it over and over again all the time. And this could be with any guru. I mean, I can tell you about myself, that when I was a kid, and when I was in nursery and when I was in kindergarten, the 2 classes, they were just telling us, nursery was just the alphabet. So they would say, write A, and then write A underneath it, and write A underneath. So they will make columns, and then one column is B, so you start writing down. So I was used to writing from up to down, up to down. Then in kindergarten, they said words: cat, dog, rat. Again, cat, rat. So I was still, doing that. First grade, sentences. So all these years I used to go to my mom and I used to tell, okay mom, dictate. And she would dictate and I would write, and then she would check, and then if I got all correct, I used to be very happy. So so the ego is there at that stage also, at that age also. And then when I reached the first grade, which was 5 years old, they gave sentences. He went to school is too big a word for the first grader. Like he sat, he cat, something like that. Something like Jack had a bag or something like that. Very simple sentence. And so my mom was lying down and she was dictating and I was writing, and she said, "Okay, straight." Sentences go straight. They don't go up to down. And I was like, I'm so accustomed to writing from top to down. I said and I wrote from top to down. All the sentences she dictated, she wrote from top to down. And I went to my mom and she looked at it. She said, "I'm not going to mark it." She was a teacher. I'm not going to do it. So and when I look back and think about that instance, I'm thinking like, she was my guru. Obviously, she was teaching. And guru tells you one thing and you don't do it.
Yeah.
Just because you've done it for 2 years. So forget about 2 years. This is lifetime. Millions and millions and millions of lifetime we have done this thing.
Yeah. I think attendance chanting is the main thing.
Yeah. And then whenever you are, so there's a Brahmane Brahmite Kaun Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Pi. So he says that Brahman is the universe, which is made up of billions of planetary systems. And in this Brahman, the Jeev is going from one planetary system to another planetary system, from this birth to that birth, from this body to that body. Why? Because of desires that you have. I want this, I want that, I want to be able to fly, I want to be able to swim, I want a beautiful body, I want this, I want that. I want to eat this, run fast, okay. So, Brahmane Brahmite, we are just moving from here to there, suffering 4 things. Birth, death, old age and disease at every place that we go. Brahmane Brahmite Kaun Bhagyavan Jeev, but a very fortunate soul gets what? Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bi. From the mercy of Guru and Krishna, he gets the creeper of Bhakti Lata Beach. He gets the seed for the creeper of devotional service. Whose kripa is there? Krishna and Guru's kripa is there. So the question is that, who comes first? Then Krishna or Guru comes first, like that, right? So with the mercy of Krishna, you get a Guru. And through the mercy of the Guru, you get Krishna ultimately, like that. Okay? So both of them are there. So as you are pursuing devotional service under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, people use that word, you can always turn to Krishna also to guide you. You can always pray to Krishna. Number one, even in your quest for trying to find a Guru, if you're completely lost, you're thinking about a Guru, you've heard about a Guru, that Guru falls down and you are completely shattered, pray to Krishna. Pray to Krishna for guidance, Like, I need a Guru, don't give me one that will cheat me, and please also give me the intelligence not to allow them to cheat me. Like, there are so many yoga, this text mentioned about yoga. People do yoga as a means of doing some kind of a gymnastics exercise, so that you can have a beautiful body, or you can be athletic and so on and so forth, right? But yoga, the word yoga comes from yuj, which means connect to God. So any of the yoga practices that you do should be ultimately take you to connecting to God. But if the teacher says that, yes, okay, we're going to do some yoga, downward dog position, Surya Namaskar, this and that, right? And after that, what you do? Well, here there are some, hamburgers and there are some wine to go with that. No, that's not yoga. That is not yuja. That is not the way we do it, right? But then people like it. People like to go there. People like to go there. They don't like the strictness that the Guru is strict. Guru is heavy with knowledge and he will be strict with you. And we need that strictness. I mean, once there was, I was listening to a story about Hawaii, ISKCON in Hawaii. And people thought that these Hare Krishnas over there, they are spies of Russia. They're Russian spies, the KGB or something like that. So the American spy system, they sent a person there, a spy there. And so he went there, came to the temple on Sunday feast day, and he said that, how can I join your organization? They said, it's very simple. You just come and start living in the temple. And so the guy came, and he started living. He's a spy. The spies will just blend, they're very good at that. So the spy came, and then they said, what am I supposed to do? They said, nothing. At 4 o'clock, there's Mangala Aarti, and then we chant 16 rounds, and then we have prasadam. So he did. He used to get up at 4 in the morning, and then he would chant, and he started chanting, and he used to chant 16 rounds like that. And then, of course, talk, read scriptures, attend Bhagavatam class, eat prasadam, and all that he did. And he stayed there for seven days, and after that he slunk away. And then he wrote the report to the CBI, and he said that these guys are crazy. They get up at 4 in the morning. 4 in the morning. They are worse than military. In military, you get up at 5 o'clock. They get up at 4, and they chant 16 rounds. You're not, nobody in the military asks you to do that, right? And then, there's no wine. There are no drinks. There is no alcohol. There are no girlfriends allowed. This is horrible. Well, devotional service is a strict business. It's a strict thing. It is important, and it is heavy. And so when you are thinking of pursuing that line, then you need to have the best guide with you, or the right guide with you. Otherwise, you'll be totally lost. So be very, very judicious. And don't think about, yes, if sometimes a guru might say, but be reasonable. Don't lose your reasoning. Don't be unreasonable in fulfilling the demands of your spiritual master. And Prabhupada, if he's saying God, yes, he's God. Now you go and tell everybody that, my spiritual master is God. Yeah, did you say? Prabhupada always said that if somebody says he's God, ask him to show the universal form, as Krishna showed the universal form to Arjuna. Ask him to do that. If he can do that, then he is God. Like that. So ask, if your guru says like that I'm God, ask him to show. Be bold enough to show. Ask him to show you the universal form of God. Now don't go and tell others that, So sometimes people make a wrong mistake, and they got into the wrong guru, and then they don't want to accept that mistake. And then they will continue to go down that path, which is definitely going to lead to hell. Because now to cover themselves, they'll go and start declaring and supporting the guru's claim that they are God. If guru is God, then he should not die. Like that, things like that. So we have to be very, 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 very careful in selecting the right master. And that's why I said that you should pray to Krishna to give you the guru. Sometimes people, and Krishna will guide you. Krishna will definitely guide you. And there is no hurry to go and take a guru. You take a guru only when you are sufficiently, convinced that this is the person for me. Observe, and you can observe multiple gurus. And it's not that if you haven't taken initiation, and I'm talking about the Diksha Guru, that if you haven't taken initiation, that your spiritual life will not progress or will be 100% zero. No, there are Siksha Gurus who can teach. Like you can come to the temple, you can hear so many people come and they teach you, all your Siksha Gurus, they're all teaching you. Right? So a person slowly develops a relationship with one of the Siksha Gurus, usually, from whom they have been taking lessons. And then they go further. And then even after you take shelter of a guru, you have a chance to observe him. He will observe you as well. And at the end of that period, both of you can say that I don't want you and I don't want you, like that. Both of them can say that, right? So if things are going wrong, it is better to nip things in the bud. If a relationship is not right and you see that there is something wrong in a relationship, it's better to cut the relationship there than to make it permanent and then try to fix it. Like that, right? Then let's think like that. Sometimes about blind faith, certain things you have to accept. You have to accept even though you have not realized it, right? And that faith, we have been talking about Adau Shraddha Tada Sadhu Sangas. If you do, I was talking about Agyat Sukriti and Bhakti Unmukhi Sukriti that some people do, and because of that they are born with that faith and they have that faith, and then I need a guru, and yes, this is the one. They will get the guidance and they'll get a nice guru like that. Some people don't have that, so they will take some time till they come to that kind of a conviction that I need a guru like that. So till such time as that you don't have a formal guru, you continue to listen to Siksha Gurus, and sometimes you might have to have what might look like a blind faith. But what this text is also telling you is that don't get too alarmed just that in the case of a guru, I don't want to do blind faith. What their text is saying is, but don't you do blind faith in other cases as well? When you go to a doctor, we don't go and ask him that, show me your degree. They might put the degree on the wall. If the degree is not in the wall and the doctor is about to operate on me, I don't tell him that, can you please show me the certificate, because I don't want to, antagonize him like that.
Even if you see the certificate, what's the guarantee? Right? You're not
It's
verifying
not a
yourself.
copy, exactly. Even if you do the certificate, what's the guarantee that it's not a fake certificate that he's doing, right? So we do make blind faith is there all the time. All the time we have some faith now and then. So do take that, but don't be completely blind, right? So what he's saying is that we accept a teacher in every walk of life. Then why don't you accept a teacher in spiritual life also? Accept it, because you need to listen. Because sometimes people say that, oh, I'll be able to do it on my own. You won't be able to do it on your own. Number one, we don't understand Sanskrit. Even if you learn the language, and this text again said that, a guru is not a person who is a Sanskrit scholar. There can be so many Sanskrit scholars. Right? When Prabhupada came here to USA, he said there were so many Bhagavad Gita that were translated by anybody who knew the Sanskrit language. There were so many versions of Bhagavad Gita floating around, but the real Bhagavad Gita, the real translation is one that has to come from a pure devotee of the Lord, right, of Prabhupada. And that Bhagavad Gita will have effect. That Bhagavad Gita will have effect on the life of people, and you can see how powerful Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita is, right? It transforms people's life. They give up their weekend and they come and sit under a roof and say, we want to talk about Krishna. Why is it like that? We all started from Prabhupada. He's a founder Acharya. So he is a pure devotee. So we have to go and look, and a bona fide person. And Krishna himself took a spiritual master. And what Krishna came here, he was demonstrating everything he was demonstrating. Right from, how do you treat your wives? When he had the 16,000 wives in Dwarika, he would pamper. Sometimes he might even look like a hand-pecked husband. He would sometimes pamper his wives. And, for the Parijata flower, one of his wives was pretty, Satyabhama was a little, like Rukmani was very docile, but Satyabhama was the flashy one, and he would flare. And so she wanted Parijat flower. So Krishna stole it from the heavenly planets and brought it over here to earth. So fulfilling how men are loving to their wives, how they treat their wives. Krishna demonstrated that, how he was loving to his parents, how he treated Vasudeva, how he treated Devaki, how he, like that. So Krishna was demonstrating, and so similarly Krishna also demonstrated the need of a spiritual master by taking Sandeepan Muni. Otherwise, why does Krishna have to take a guru? He is the Jagat Guru. What does he have to learn? I mean, in Srimad Bhagavatam, we also see that when they both used to go to Sandeepan Muni, but whatever people would learn in X amount of time, they would learn it 16 times faster, So very quickly all the studies were done and they were over like that. But he demonstrates that because he wants us to follow in his principle. So again, when it comes to choosing a guru, what do you think would be a reason that you would choose a guru?
I think the instructions are having difference on our life.
If his instructions are having a difference in your life, good. What else is something that you would see in a guru?
His genuineness for the world, or serving Krishna and serving his guru.
How he's serving Krishna, how he's serving his guru. Okay, very good. What are the things that you will typically not look for in a guru?
Maybe his caste, creed, and which country.
Caste and creed and which country, okay. So sometimes a very nice and a very famous and a very good guru comes to your town, and he's very, very famous, and I just want to become his guru. Or his disciple. Why do I want to become his disciple? Because then I'll be associated with such a famous guru. And other people will say that, oh, she's a disciple of such a famous guru. So I want to reflect in the glories of my spiritual master. That is not the right reason of choosing a spiritual master. Right? If I look at a spiritual master, oh, he sings so beautifully. Oh, yeah, I like music. I want to have him as a spiritual master. No, that won't be the reason that you will choose a spiritual master. There was a lady who was talking to one of the acharyas here at ISKCON, and she said that, Prabhu, do you know why I'm aspiring to take initiation from that guru? Do you know, Prabhuji, why I chose that? So he said, no, Mataji, I don't know. So she said, she was a single mom with 4 kids. So she said, he's wonderful with kids. That is not the reason you like to choose a guru. You're not looking for a husband, you're not looking for a father for your kids, you're looking for a spiritual master, like that. So sometimes people might just say, oh, you know what, he's a very influential guru, and look at the disciples that he has. He has got so rich. Tycoons are becoming his disciples. If I just become his disciple, all these will become my god brothers and god sisters. And then what, god brothers and god sisters are very merciful to each other. They will do things for each other. I will be able to like sell my stuff to them and things like that. That is not the reason that you would go and choose that such and such a guru like that, right? The guru has to be one that who has realized the scriptures through deliberations, and you observe him, like you said, you observe him how he is following the instructions of his spiritual master, like that. So he does that. Any other thoughts? Any other last thoughts that we have?
Instructions from gurus, right?
Spiritual instructions, but sometimes we are so full of material miseries, right? So how do we take help from guru?
Yes, material life does bother us a lot, and but we should not. Once in a while, it's okay. It's okay to go. Just like we see in the Srimad Bhagavatam situations where people ask for Krishna. Devotees have asked Krishna for help. Although pure devotional service doesn't say is that when you are doing devotional service to God, you don't ask him anything. Mm-hmm. For classic examples are Gajendra, right? Gajendra prayed to save his life. What does it mean to save the life? It is that he's saying, I want you to save my body, right? Mm-hmm. Similarly, Draupadi, called out to Krishna. But then, those are dire consequent situations where you think that you're going to lose your body, so you call out to Krishna. Mm-hmm. So similarly, if you're in your material life, a situation has come which is having a very deep effect on your spiritual life, it's okay to discuss that with your spiritual master. But what you should not do is that, keep on asking for material benedictions from your spiritual master. For example, I remember I was once not in ISKCON, but some other group I was there, and they held a satsang in their home, and the lady had redone the home for several things, and then I think they left the flooring. And then somebody said, oh, you know what, with all this get up and things like that, I think it'll be good if we have the wooden floors as well. And she said, yeah, I just need to, next time my Guru Maharaj comes here, I just need to ask him for a blessing so that, I can get the wooden floor in my home. So those are not the things that you will ask, blessings from your spiritual master for. Your spiritual master, you should be asking for blessings that, to help you progress in your devotional service so that you can find Krishna, because that's the guarantee that spiritual master takes, that he will take you back to Godhead. Like that. So we are coming close to, 8:45, so I just wanted to ask you if there are any other reflections or questions that you have on this. It's a heavy topic. We can talk on this for many. We could talk it over the prasadam also. We could do that too. Any one thing that stuck? Any from that? Reflections are easy than questions, right?
So I'm a little bit perplexed with the word used as a friend. Guru is a friend, but because with friend we are generally like very frank and maybe end up talking many things, which in case of spiritual master we shouldn't be. So I may not have. So of course I don't have complete understanding. That's why my understanding is hampering here, that I haven't understand in what context we call Guru a friend.
As a well-wisher. Your friend is your well-wisher. Yeah. So there's no like a high five with your Guru. Like that. We don't do that. The Guru, or call him nicknames, So we don't do that. Guru is Guru Dev or Guru Maharaj, like that. Whatever he prefers to be called. We never get one of the things I always used to tell my daughter also, being her mother, I used to tell her, like normally people say that, a parent is, my mom is my friend. Mm-hmm. I used to tell her that, I'm not your friend. I can be friendly with you, but I'm not your friend. So similarly, a guru might be, very nice and polite and loving and will care for you, and he will be your well-wisher like that, just as a friend is, but you cannot, take that for granted from your side. And even like, sometimes a guru might even be very, very playful with you. I remember one of Jayapataka Swami Maharaj's disciple, he came to me and he said, you know what, Guru Maharaj just played ball with me today. He would throw the ball and I would catch it, he'd throw the ball and I would catch it. Well, next time you don't go and say, hey Guru, are you coming for a game of ball? Nothing, not like that, So they are strict. They are strict. So those protocols have to be followed. Yeah, on that. But friend here basically means, more of a well-wisher. And philosopher and the spiritual guide. So Manasi, your 2 words are there.
I like to think back of my relationship with Prabhupada.
Oh, awesome. Thank you for bringing that.
And, I never really had any real private conversations with him, I talked to him a few times, But, it's so long ago, I don't remember actually even asking him to be my guru. I lived in the temple in LA. And I had only been following the rules and everything, and doing everything, within temple life, and really appreciating my fellow devotees. And it came a time that we were going to get initiated, and I never asked, really, I want to be initiated, but I knew deep down inside I wanted to, and there were several other brahmacharis, future brahmacharis that were going to be initiated at the same time. And we had this huge initiation one evening. It was maybe 10 days or 2 weeks before we headed up to San Francisco for Rath Yatra. But it was a wonderful evening where we had the fire ceremony, and there were maybe 5 or 6 of us initiated. And there were also maybe 3 or 4 marriages. It was just huge. It was at the La Cienega temple. And so anyway, it hasn't been until recently that I realized that, what a big friend Prabhupada really was. Because there was so much that he did not, that I never relayed to him about my personal self. But I think back, and it's like, he knew something about me.
Yes.
Just my name, Anamali, protector of the trees. I grew up in a forest.
Wow.
I grew up outside of Seattle in a forest. And I love that forest. I love going up there by myself, And just little things that he knew that I was kind of, I was a kid from the suburbs, and I'd been raised in Christianity. And for me to come into Krishna consciousness, I don't know of anybody from Bellevue, Washington. There might have been 1 or 2 others who adopted Hinduism or even got interested in the Vedas. But he knew that I was pretty wet around the ears. And I think back about certain things he did that really stuck with me, that would keep me in touch, with ISKCON and being a Vaishnava. So it's really, I look back and I realize what a true friend
He was.
Prabhupada is.
Yeah. He used to sign also like that, right? Your well-wisher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the Guru knows, actually. He knows what's going on in your heart. So you should keep it clean. because you know, yeah, he knows what's there. Yeah, but thank you so much for sharing that lovely story.
Thank you.
So if there are no more questions, then we'd like to do Narsingham prayers for Haripriya, daughter of Megha and Ruchir, and she's been in the Stanford for. She's still in the ICU still for.
She came home for a few days, but again got infection and have pneumonia. So she's been hospital since past 5-6 days.
5-6 days again.
Yeah, in NICU.
Ooh, again.
Yeah.
So it's the same
Pneumonia.
infection again? Pneumonia again? Last time also it was pneumonia, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And today was very scary, but now she's stable.
She's stable now. Okay. So we'll sing together? Okay. Namaste Narasinghaya Lad Lad Daine Hiranyakashi Vrksa Shilatanakanakarane Nito Narsimha Varato Narsimho Yato Yato Yami Kato Narsimho Mahi Narsimha Hinaye Narsimho Narsimha Madin Sharanam Tapate Takara Kamalavare Hiranyakashipu Tanubhinga Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagdish Hare Jai Jagdish Hare Jai Jagdish Hare Jaya Narsingha Dev Jaya Narsingha Dev Jaya Narsingha Dev Jaya Narsingha Dev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol समस्त भक्त विघ्नाशन नरसिंहम देव भगवान की जय भक्तराज प्रहलाद महाराज की जय हरि हरि बोल Dear Lord Narasimhadev, please protect our little Haripriya who's been fighting with pneumonia. May she come out of the hospital soon and bounce back to good health. Thank you so much for considering our request. Hare Krishna. So we have prasadam prayers. Prasadam prayers, but I think everybody has those by heart. Mahaprasade Govinde Nam Brahmani Vaishnave Swalpa Punyavatam Rajan Vishvaso Navjayate Prasade Sarva Dukhana Manirasyo Vajayate Prasanna Cheta Sohirasu Buddhi Varyavati Spute Sansara Sharira Vidya Jal Vidya Tahekal Jive Fere Vishay Sarvore Taramati Jivayati Lomoy Sudurmati Taki Jita Katina Sansare Krishna Bada Doya Moy Gori Bhare Jiva Joy Saprasada Nadilo Bhai Se Anamrita Pao Radha Krishna Gurgao Preme Dako Shri Chaitanya Nidai Jai Nimai Jai Nidai Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Gaur Premanande Hare Hare Bol Bolo Mahaprasadam Ki Jai. Okay, so with this we will bring tonight's class to a conclusion. Thank you so much for all of you who have joined us online as well as all of you who are in the room. With a special thanks to our hosts Suyash Prabhu and Mansi Mataji for opening their home and their hearts to us, and also to Vanmali Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada's disciple, for gracing the occasion and for the wonderful kirtan, and
for the wonderful lecture to Shraddha Mataji.
We're very grateful, Shraddha Mataji.
And to Prabhuji for having us.
Thank you for
Behind the scenes.
behind the scenes guys. for taking the Krishna Kathas to all our online viewers, and thank you Neeral and Khyati Mataji for keeping the ball rolling and coming despite your super busy schedule today. At one point in time I was wondering whether you could make it or not. Alright. Saman Kupeti had sent her request because Manpur was not feeling well, so she couldn't join us today. Alright, so let's do Haribol. Go Premanande! Hari Hari Bol! Hari Krishna.